Everybody say, say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are, you're my everything. Say, I call you Jireh, Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi, you are my battle. I call you Rapha, hey, you are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. Well, it's another wonderful Saturday afternoon, and we're live on the program, The Community and Law. That brings you every bit of discussion when we talk about law. The Community and the Law is live on BW TV, is live on BW Radio, is live on Facebook page BWF Solicitors, live on YouTube BWF Solicitors, and of course on your network as well. Welcome to the show and welcome to another wonderful edition on a nice Saturday afternoon here in the UK. My name is Owusu Frimpong. I'm the host, and I have the honor and privilege of saying and introducing that BWF Solicitors is our proud sponsor. BWF Solicitors, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, Seven Sisters, North London. They work Monday to Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and for appointments only over the weekends. BWF Solicitors, they are trusted community partners when it comes to the law. Now, when it is that you're doing any application concerning your immigration status, your nationality, when it comes to family law, they are experts. Divorce, marriages, and all the other bits about our family affairs, they deal with that. And of course, they represent you when it comes to the law and in court. BWF Solicitors is wishing all of you a happy new month because we've entered into December. And again, we're also saying that you stand a chance of winning wonderful prizes in our quiz competition, which will be coming later on in the program. But in the meantime, let's say thank you to BWF Solicitors and we'll be right back.
This is our world. Here we are in our community. There are the laws. There are the regulations. We have BWF Solicitors. BWF Solicitors, experts in all aspects of the law, family law, civil litigation, all immigration and nationality issues, representation in court, marriage and divorce. We pride ourselves to give you excellent legal services and follow through till we get you the right result and decisions. That is our mutual satisfaction. We have a team of excellent qualified solicitors and support team to help you every step of the way. Our senior partner with over 30 years of unbroken service to the community is a member of the Family Law Panel and has advised several lawyers and institutions in many legal matters. He is qualified to practice both in the UK and in Ghana. Come to us, speak to us, let us represent you. We are your trusted community partners when it comes to the law. Locate us on the 4th floor of the Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road at Seven Sisters in North London, N15 4NP. Nearest train station, Victoria Line to Seven Sisters Station, exit number 2. We are open for all consultations from Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Weekends by appointment only. Call us now on 0208 493 7340 or 077 127 61884. BWF Solicitors, your trusted legal partner.
Official poll. Question number 1. Law firm Bay and the one Anna House on top of the Seven Sisters Tube Station, exit number 2. No. BWF Solicitors. Correct. It is that time of the year again. BWF Solicitors, our trusted community law firm at the Christmas quiz competition. No. Ababiomo. We have gone through 2022 together. We have celebrated 30 years of our senior partners on broken service to the community. And do so, someone so will be winning prizes from the annual quiz competition. No more. Listen, every 1st December, Ecosi 23rd December 2022, following on all our social media platforms, on BW Radio, BWTV, any Rainbow Radio show, and some very simple and interesting questions. And you will stand a chance of winning a massive prize. First prize, 2-week stay in Ghana, flight and accommodation covered. Second prize, £500 cash. Third prize, £200 cash, plus many other consolation prizes. Chapeau. BWF Solicitors. For our legal matters, but you be handle no pepe and the amount. You 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, no so London N15 4NP 4th floor of the Anna House. Freying was 0208 493 7340 or emergency number 077 127 61884. With over 30 years of service to the community, we are your trusted community lawyers. Yamawa Fisher Poe. Merry Christmas.
Well, we right back. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for your time. If you join us I would entreat you that you click on the like button and subscribe to the channel as well, and share it in your network so that everybody who is with us would have the chance of benefiting from the kind of knowledge we're going to share and the experience that BWF Solicitors is bringing us is the community and the law. And we're live between now and 6 p.m. UK time. Sandra Fraser, thank you very much for coming on board. And of course, I would want to say Tilly Duma and all the other people that have come on board, thank you so very much. Today I have, as I always do, a special person from BWF Solicitors. We have Lawyer Charles Asma, who is joining us as our resource person. Lawyer Asma is a lawyer with BWF Solicitors. My brother, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brakoku.
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. And
Good.
you?
Oh, well. The sun is not out, is off, but we're surviving within the heat that we get provided at home. So it's fine. How's work?
Yes, our work is well. We're still aiming to make community excited with what we do best, the law, and meeting people's expectations.
Well, I know obviously it's somebody's private thing, but I would want to just clothe it a bit and say the law is a nice experience when you are able to mitigate and also get people out of trouble. It makes you feel good, I guess.
Makes you feel good. I mean, it's always about making impact, and we're talking about positive impact in the lives of others, especially those who are in despair, in a situation of hopelessness, and through your effort, and should I say intervention, there is a way, or a way is made, and they smile again. It makes it very beautiful. And that is what keeps BWF Solicitors going. And we believe that the community continues to benefit from what we bring to the community.
Well, I'm going to bring something to your attention later in the program when we have the interaction segment. Somebody has brought a long letter written by the Home Office refusing an application he's put in, and he wants some support with that.
Right.
I know obviously we can ask the person to come over to the office
Sure.
and get some consultation, but in the meantime I will be reading that on the program. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if it is that you've just joined us, I want to welcome you to another edition of the Community and the Law. Lawyer Charles Asma, as I mentioned, is right here with us, and he's going to help us do our discussion so diligently well. So stay tuned and stay with us. We're going to have our usual piece of information. We start with, we often call that our nugget, and that is something I want us to look at briefly and quickly. One here is saying that a property that requires to make it safe for you to live in is considered to be in disrepair. This may include damp and mold, faulty central heating and hot water. Both tenants and landlords have duty of care towards the property. However, the landlord have a far greater responsibility for keeping the property fit for purpose. Landlords are responsible for one, maintaining the house. A breach by the landlord can lead to a successful claim against them for compensation. The local authority may also take an action against the landlord. Now, this is coming from the Housing Act of 2004, the Environmental Protection Act of 1990. Lawyer Asma, what is this one saying?
Right, thank you very much, Chan. So I think it's obvious on the fact, and the fact is that we have a tenant and we have a landlord. Landlord is the one who gives out his or her property for the quiet enjoyment of the tenant, and the tenant pledges to pay the rent thereof to the landlord.
Right.
So they both have right and responsibilities. Now, the property, though is in the care of the tenant, is the responsibility of the landlord, and therefore the duty of care toward the property shift towards the landlord more than it goes towards the tenant, insofar as the tenant is keeping to the payment of the rent. And therefore, if you are a landlord, you have responsibility to ensure that the property is in line with the Housing Act of 2004, and also Environmental Protection Act. Now, we're talking about environmental protection. What it means is that it's your responsibility as a landlord to make sure that the property within the community or wherever the property is situated does not contravene environmental protection rules or regulations. If the property is infested by rodents, then it's your responsibility to clear it and make sure that the place is still habitable. And so this is one bit. Now, in terms of housing, the last time we said that if you give your property out for rent, then you have to make sure that the tenant is able to have a home to live. This means the property should be without any disrepair. If you say disrepair, what it means is that the property is not fit for purpose. So we're talking about if the property is full of molds, then obviously that is injurious to health. If the property has no heating, that's injurious to safety and of course health as well. To the extent that even environmental, the environmental protection agency inspection processes. So making sure that the wiring and all the things in the home are good for people who live there. So if there are molds, there are damps, and what have you, the heating system is shut down. There are instances where even the sink is clogged, and so many other things. What it means is that you, the landlord, have to make sure that it is sorted out for the tenant. What if the landlord refuses to or fails to? Then you, the tenant, can go ahead to put the property into proper repair for yourself. But because it is the landlord's responsibility, you can use the money you use for the repair to offset your rent reasonably.
Okay.
But you must have evidence to show the landlord that I told you didn't do it for a period of time. This is the disrepair that I pointed out to you. And because of this and that, I had to protect myself. And at the same time, also have a duty towards the property. So I did what I needed to do. But the bill is in your name. And so that is what mainly...
So in a situation where you rent somebody's property and whilst you're in there, you detect that there is a defect anywhere and you go ahead to repair it without informing the landlord first, would the landlord still be liable?
So the first point is that you put the landlord on notice that there is defect here and there. And the landlord obviously has responsibility to make the necessary repairs on the property for you. If the landlord fails to do it, then you have a duty towards the property and yourself to fix that. But then the landlord more or less has to refund that by way of a rental set-off. But if you don't tell the landlord and you go ahead to do it, the landlord can... It depends on who the landlord is, but then the law will not put the landlord in any situation as to offset that money against the rent.
So if it is that you've put the landlord to notice, you've made the repairs and paid for them, the landlord refuses to pay for that, what step can a tenant take?
So the rent is from the tenant to the landlord. So I don't see why if you have upper hand, you cannot exercise that upper hand. If the rent is paid in cash to the landlord on weekly or monthly basis, you have the power to offset it before you give the money to the landlord. Of course, you have evidence that you did everything that you need to do. What then happens is that the landlord will say you are in arrears of rent and will take you on. Then you have a case if it goes to court or anywhere. But if you have, let's say, set up direct debit and you leave it to continue to go and you tell the landlord, give me back the rent I pay, the repairs I made, then more or less you are not doing something right for yourself. So it's even straightforward. You are setting it off against the money you are giving the landlord. So if it is cash, you take your bit out before you give the difference. If it is not enough, then you may even go into the next month or two. If it will take 3 months to cover that, so be it. If it is standing order or direct debit, you just instruct your bank that this is going to be placed on hold for the next 3 months.
Right.
Yeah, but the landlord is aware. But what we are saying is that there must be evidence that the property was first in disrepair. There must be evidence that you put the landlord on notice that this is happening and ought to be put right. How many times did you do? A couple of times suffices. Then the landlord, what actions did the landlord take? And it's always good that sometimes he can do text message or emails, so that it wouldn't just be by verbal. Trying to argue.
So in this day and age, when everybody has a smartphone, you just take photographs, record videos.
If you take pictures and WhatsApp to the landlord that there are moths all over the place, blah blah blah. A couple of weeks, if it's still not sorted, you continue to do that, then you have enough evidence to show that the person is not interested in your health and safety. So remember, you also have a duty to the property.
Yeah.
And therefore, under the Environmental Protection Act and the Housing Act, you are the tenant. So a reasonable tenant will be the one who will say, I will do this and get it to come from the rent.
You mentioned that the tenant has as much interest in the house as the landlord. Now, let's take a property where there is a garden in front of it that has to be mowed every now and then. Whose responsibility is that?
So if it's a garden,
yes,
in front,
there's a lawn in front of the garden that has to be mowed.
So is that space public or private? If it is private, then obviously it is the responsibility of the landlord. But if it is public, then it goes beyond the remit of the landlord. So it might be that it falls within the remit of the council. Then you inform the environmental protection. The council, you inform the council that this is what is happening. The EPA will come around, the environmental
protection agency
will come around to put whatever needs to be put right. And remember, even if the place is, there are trees that need to be pruned and all that, you can't just cut them down. You have to invite the environment.
No, but in a private property.
But if it is your private property, then it is your responsibility
as a landlord to make sure the garden is kept.
The garden at the back and the garden in front and every space around the property, as long as it falls within the property layout, it's your responsibility as a landlord.
So if I'm a tenant, a very interesting question that's just come to mind. If I'm a tenant and I hire people to come and do the gardening, they mow, they trim the hedges, they clean up the place, can I charge it against the landlord?
So we're looking at disrepair that goes beyond the interior part of the property, goes to the exterior. For example, as I said, there might be mice or rat infestation, and of course that is also encroaching into the interior of the property because they dig holes and they get into the property. Yes, if the landlord is not taking action, you can take action, and all this you can offset it against. Even though we mentioned damp and all that, but it's also about maintaining the property into a habitable order.
Okay.
So if you are not doing what you need to do, then are you just interested in collecting the rent? No. Your right, yes, is to collect the rent.
The landlord doesn't come in, for instance, to clean your bathroom. The landlord doesn't hoover the place. The landlord doesn't clean for you. So if you have a garden in front of the house and you expect the landlord to come and mow the lawn.
I'm looking at the extent of whatever has happened.
Okay.
Obviously, so if it's a case of the tenant's behavior creating that nuisance to that property, then the landlord will put the tenant on notice that fix this, or I will fix it, but it will be a different charge on that, because that we're looking at what the landlord must do and what the tenant must do. But if you're a dirty tenant and things are out of place, then in this case the landlord cannot say that this action of yours, even though I gave you the property, I'm going to blame myself or hold myself accountable. So there are certain things. So it's a matter of what are we looking at. I think today's conversation is mainly to do with in the interior part of the properties, because molds and damp are quite serious issues. And therefore, the landlord may say, well, because they don't live there, especially if the landlord doesn't live in that property, they don't really see what's going on.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's your responsibility to point this out to them. But your point of if the tenant has created a nuisance or at the exterior part of the property, would that be the landlord's responsibility? On that note, I would say no.
Well, it's a big no, and the landlord. Other than that, you get people who run into the landlord to say, "Well, I've trimmed the hedge, so come pay for it," or "I've done this or that, come and do this." These are things that, obviously, if you are a responsible tenant, you got to do. Now, I'm just bringing this to our attention, and I want to remind you that BWF Solicitors is offering you the chance of winning wonderful prizes, as you see on your screen now. First prize, 2-week paid holiday in Ghana, flight and accommodation covered. The second prize is a £500 cash. Then the third prize is £200 cash. You need to answer a few questions in what do you call it? In a minute or in a set time, and the top winners will be put in a draw, and the lucky ones would stand the chance of winning the first prize, which is a 2-week paid holiday in Ghana. The second prize being £500 cash, and the third prize being £200 cash. So watch out for that. Later on, just before we finish with our discussion, I'll be bringing in the questions, and you see me as a quiz master posing the questions, and I would want you to call in. At the time, you would be able to call in on 07399208468, 07399208468. Or when I ask you to do that on text, you may have to just text us on 07950422780. So watch out for the quiz that will be coming up very soon and later on in this program. Now, we are here and we're doing the discussion on the community and the law. We're bringing you very nice discussion this afternoon. Now, it's about EUSS applications. Now, if you had your indefinite leave to remain in the UK before Brexit, you're covered, I guess. But if not, can you still apply under the EUSS scheme when the deadline is passed? We had the deadline of 31st December 2020, I guess, and the 30th of June 2021 being the extension. All those periods are passed. But can you still make an application under the EUSS scheme? We'll be looking at that right after this.
Official poll. Question number 1. Lofenbane and the one on a house on top of the Seven Sisters Tube Station, exit number 2. BWF Solicitors. Correct. It is that time of the year again. BWF Solicitors, our trusted community law firm at the Christmas quiz competition. Ababiomo. We have gone through 2022 together. We have celebrated 30 years of our senior partners on broking service to the community. And through so, someone so will be winning prizes from the annual quiz competition. Listen, every 1st December, Ecosi 23rd December 2022, following on all our social media platforms, on BW Radio, BW TV, any Rainbow Radio show, answer very simple and interesting questions, and you will stand a chance of winning a massive prize. First prize, 2-week stay in Ghana, flight and accommodation covered. Second prize, £500 cash. Third prize, £200 cash, plus many other consolation prizes. Official BWF Solicitors. For legal matters, but you be handle no pepe at the amount. You 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, no so London N15 4NP 4th floor of the Anna House. Freying was 0208 493 7340 or emergency number 077 127 61884. With over 30 years of service to the community, we are your trusted community lawyers. Yamo Official Poe. Merry Christmas.
This is our world. Here we are in our community. There are the laws. There are the regulations. We have BWF solicitors. BWF solicitors, experts in all aspects of the law, family law, civil litigation, all immigration and nationality issues, representation in court, marriage and divorce. We pride ourselves to give you excellent legal services and follow through till we get you the right result and decisions. That is our mutual satisfaction. We have a team of excellent qualified solicitors and support team to help you every step of the way. Our senior partner with over 30 years of unbroken service to the community is a member of the Family Law Panel and has advised several lawyers and institutions in many legal matters. He is qualified to practice both in the UK and in Ghana. Come to us. Speak to us. Let us represent you. We are your trusted community partners when it comes to the law. Locate us on the 4th floor of the Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road at Seven Sisters in North London, N15 4NP. Nearest train station, Victoria Line to Seven Sisters Station, exit number 2. We are open for all consultations from Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Weekends by appointment only. Call us now on 0208 493 7340 or 077 127 61884. BWF Solicitors, your trusted legal partner.
BWF Solicitors, our trusted legal partners, doing it right and good for us every day. Alex will say, yes, you participated in the quiz and was one of the top winners yesterday. You can participate again today. What we're going to do is the few people that will get the highest number of scores on each program will be put in a draw. Then the winners will be picked up, and you would win the prizes as we have advertised. We're talking about first prize being 2 weeks paid holiday in Ghana, flights and accommodation covered, £500 as a second prize, and £200 cash as the third prize. So Alex, that answers your question. Thank you very much. That is clear. What if you win today? Yes, if you win today, you'll still be in the hat. So good luck to you and all the other people. Now, my discussion, let me see if I can say my hellos to a few people that have come on the platform. Let me pick this one. Emmanuel Sechi, good evening. Oreku and Loyansa, good evening. Emmanuel Wumpini Adam says, please share the link, the family and friends, for you to join us. Now, Manyati, you're supposed to be in the seat. Please share as you come on, share some love and comments. Thank you very much. I love that. Next one, Linda Asari Ansar, 07399208468. Yes, we're reiterating the studio number. Thank you very much. Ohima Fusuya, thank you for coming on board. Then Wumpini again, Nana Odisheba Kweku Meye Dede, this is your message. I am around. Yes, you are. I see you. Daniela Che Mensa. Good evening, Lawyer Noreku. Good evening, family. We also have, again, Louisa Asante Amoa. Good afternoon, Oreku. Lawyer Charles Royals are here. Lovely. Doris Kese, hello, Kweku. What's the procedure for adopting a child from Ghana, please? There's a response here, but later on I will get a lawyer to expatiate on that again. Doris, you start the process in the UK once you have identified a child and adoption agency. The Department of Education confirmation of certificate of eligibility, that COE, is required and is being issued in Ghana. Issued to Ghana. The article is 5C, that is Hague 1 letters, and Article 16 report. This is done both here and in Ghana. And finally, once the adoption is done, there is Article 17 C's exchange letter. The agency we use is IAC Center for Adoption. They will do the panel interview. Sorry about that small mishap here. We'll get it corrected very soon. We'll be right back. Okay, now we are right back with you. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for your time. Let's get into our discussion eminently. Lawyer, we're talking about EUSS applications and also the situation where people who may not have applied prior to the deadline and the extension. Can they do that now? EUSS application, is it still valid?
So it is important that we are having this conversation. Somebody may ask, is this conversation still necessary? It is necessary because there are people who still do not know that even though they may have EU leave, or they have leave under the EU provisions of prior to Brexit, they still feel that, well, as long as I was okay, I don't have to worry because Brexit is for those who don't have anything. And therefore, this conversation is really, really important. We take the opportunity to say good afternoon to our viewers and listeners. This wonderful Saturday afternoon, you've made time to join us on this show, and we are going to learn once again. So the question is, am I exempted? Am I exempted? If I am a EU family member who had indefinite leave to remain before Brexit, am I exempted from EUSS? The answer is no, you are not exempted. And today's conversation is going to look at all those who haven't done it. That means you still have opportunity to do it. Is it too late? We are going to touch up on that. What should you have to be able to make that application? And if you are coming to do it now, what reason should you provide? Because the position is that all those doing it now must have a reason why they were not able to do it by the first deadline and the second deadline of June 2021.
Well, Laura, let me find out. If we talk EUSS, what are we specifically referring to? We know that when the UK decided to get out of, for the simple person, get out of the European Union, there were things that people needed to do. Is it that is being referred to as the EUSS? What is it?
Thank you very much. So EUSS is the acronym for EU Settlement Scheme, European Union Settlement Scheme.
Okay.
Instituted by UK as a former member of EU with a view to meet the EU halfway for all those nationals and family members of EU countries who were living in the UK before Brexit.
Okay.
And the deadline, as we know, is 31st of December 2020. That is the cutoff for Brexit. Okay. At that point, EU was finally or absolutely out of the UK, 11 p.m. of 31st December 2020. Now, a lot of people, of course, came from EU states to live in the UK in exercise of treaty rights under various regulations. So Regulation 16 being one of them. And the regulation gave free movement of people, mainly. Of course, there was also free movement of goods and services. But for the better purposes of this conversation, we're touching upon the free movement of persons. Now, if you were a EU member, EU national, and you entered the UK, you were to be treated as a UK national, so to speak. Therefore, because of the free movement, there should be no restriction upon your family members either joining you in the UK.
All right.
So all those family members who were with EU nationals in the UK were given opportunity to regularize by way of leave. So
you put in an application, and you're allowed to live in the UK.
And you are allowed to live in the UK. Most of them were able to have it up to indefinite leave to remain level. Now, so you see that the old card that those people or the family members of EU had, nationals had, they would have written at the bottom, family member of a EU national under EU regulations.
Okay.
Today, if you get a card under EU, it wouldn't be that. It will be family member of a EU national under EU settlement scheme.
Okay.
Because the position is that after the withdrawal agreement of 2020, all those who come into the UK on the ticket of EU or stayed in the UK on the ticket of EU should take steps to regularize.
Okay.
And by regularization, you have to enter into the scheme, the EU settlement scheme.
Okay.
So you apply that I want to continue to stay in the UK.
Okay.
Whether you are a EU passport holder, in other words, whether you are a EU national or EU national family member, you have to say that I want to continue to remain in the UK.
So if you made an application under the EUSS scheme, it meant that you were indicating to the UK government that you are going with them in that divorce situation.
Exactly. You want to remain here.
Okay.
And therefore, you should be treated as someone who has opted into the concession for those who want to remain. So you opt in or you opt out.
Okay.
And you don't have to say, I have opted in or opted out. You have to act it out.
Okay.
By way of application. So if you don't make the application and the deadline is over, the presumption is that you have opted out.
Right.
And if you have opted out and you are still in the UK, then the conclusion will be that you don't have valid leave to remain in the UK, having not opted into the agreement.
So in this case, when the deadline was over and the extension was over, whoever did not apply in those periods and within that window did not have the permission to have the free kind of movement again. Was the door shut, closed altogether on them?
So, so we're looking at, EU, UK, to a very large extent, a very considerate country. And therefore, they, within the rules, preempt that people may not have opted in out of their own volition.
Okay.
Or opted out of their own volition. And therefore, there might be some extenuating circumstances why people did not apply at the right time,
right,
or when they were asked to do. So they have now set it out that if you are now coming to do it when you needed to have done by June, 30th of June 2021, then you have to give a reason why you didn't. And the reasons are also set out. So all you need to do is to tell the reason, and if you have evidence, you support it. More often than not, those who have not done it, their reasons are that one, they didn't know, the employer did not tell them, or they called the home office, and whoever they spoke to at the home office said that, well, if you have indefinite, you don't have to. And therefore, the expectation was that if I had indefinite to remain, then this does not apply to me. Contrary to the fact that you are opting in or opting out.
Okay.
Can they do it? Yes.
Yes. So, was there any reason or any situation where people who applied for EUSS were denied or were refused?
Obviously, if you applied for, remember we had two streams of applications. Those who applied as extended family members in the UK, and also as, let's say, close family members,
right,
spouses, children, parents, what have you, and also nieces, nephews, and all those categories. Now, every application is assessed on its own merit. Right. And I would say that if every application can be considered and granted or refused, then that is, the EU applications were also not exceptional. And to answer your question, yes, some people were refused based on the assessment carried out of their application. But a lot of them also went to court and they won at court. to the effect that the Home Office had to then review the decision to grant them.
Right. So who qualified under that? Is it just a husband, a wife, or spouses, so to speak, and their direct children? Did extended family members qualify under that scheme?
We know that extended family members were up to 2020, so you should have done that by 2020. Then those other family members in terms of spouses, children, yours was by 30th of June 2021. But we are not saying that people can put in application. That is not a conversation. So let me put in that caveat. The conversation is that there are people living in the UK who have old EU cards with inscription EU regulations, family member of an EU national under the EU regulation. Okay. Today we are talking about EU settlement scheme. So if you hold, for example, a card, the old card, as a EU family member, and you have not done the EU settlement scheme application to be given a letter to show that you've been granted either pre-settled or settled status, then what we are saying to you is that you did not opt in.
Okay.
And because you may have indefinite leave to remain, you may consider that I have indefinite leave to remain, therefore I should be considered as somebody who has leave to remain. But if I have indefinite, why do I have to make another application?
Right.
But even those EU nationals who held EU passports were supposed to do the application to either get pre-settled or settled, much less the family members. And therefore, if you are a family member and you had indefinite leave to remain and you have not done your EUSS application, then that is the point we are making, that for those people, they have to make the application.
Right.
They have to make the application. Because, yes, you are the employer may not be aware to point it out to you that go and bring this. It's only when, for example, they tell you that go and bring a share code, then you ask yourself, what is a share code? And they say, when you did your application, you should have blah, blah, blah. And they say, well, I haven't done any application. Or at that point, it dawns on you that what's going on. Or if there are instances where the bank can ask you bring a share code and you realize that you didn't even do the application to be given pre-settled or settled. Of course, if you have indefinite leave to remain under the regulations, then when you make the application, you'll be given settled status. But the point we are making is that if you have not done that application, then even though you are in the UK and you are living your life by way of working and everything else, you are technically not required to be here. Right. Because you haven't opted in.
Lawyer, there's this question that keeps bothering my mind. People had families that they had linked to their stay here in the UK as EU citizens, but they did not apply for those extended family members within the first window and the extension. Is it too late for such a person? For instance, I have my nephews that I take care of, and they are on my record that they are the children or the relatives I take care of. But within those two windows, I didn't make any application for them. And now I realized that I would want them to come live with me. I have made my EUSS application. I've been granted that. I have my indefinite leave to remain. I've got all the privileges and everything accruing to me. Can I bring such people that were known in law to be my relatives to come and join me now, even though within those two windows, I never made any application?
It's too late.
Why?
It's too late because the law was that for extended family members, all applications ought to have been made by December 2020. And for immediate family members or individuals themselves, the application ought to have been made by 30th of June 2021. So if you didn't do the extended family when you needed to do it, then it's too late. If you didn't do for yourself as an EU national or a family member, direct family member of a EU national by the 30th of June 2021, again, it's too late. The question is, if that immediate family member or that individual themselves had indefinite leave to remain and they didn't do it, will the law punish them harshly to the effect that they cannot continue to live in the UK? What the law is saying is that if you have now realized that you should have done it and you didn't, you have to give reasons why you didn't do it.
Right.
Mind you, we are not talking about those entering the UK from abroad, because the external window is still not closed. So you can still bring your immediate family members from abroad. And when they come in, they have to enter into the EU settlement scheme. Even though they applied they applied for the EU family permit, when they come here, they apply to be granted pre-settled or settled, depending on the age of that person. This conversation is for individuals who have indefinite leave to remain. And that indefinite leave to remain was obtained as a result of their familial relationship or family relationship with their EU nationals. In that case, if you didn't know that you needed to have done latest by 30th of June 2021 and you still have that indefinite leave to remain, you have to do it.
Okay.
But then you have to give a reason why you couldn't. And such applications still come through to us and we make them successfully. There are instances where people will make application for example, naturalization, thinking that they hold indefinite leave to remain from their association with EU nationals. And they have the indefinite leave to remain when after Brexit they were supposed to do it, they didn't do it because to them they have indefinite. Now it's time to do naturalization. You cannot jump to do the naturalization because, so to speak, you have not opted in.
Okay. Lawyer, somebody just sent a question, and what's the difference between pre-settled and settled when it comes to the EUSS?
So settled simply means indefinite leave to remain.
Okay.
Pre-settled means limited leave to remain. So you are yet to settle. So you are given 5 years. And the reason is that at the time you were making the application, you had not lived in the UK for 5 years.
Okay.
And so you are given pre-time to settle.
So it means that then when you're giving that status, you have to stay on it for
5 years.
5 years before you go to settle.
Yes.
Can't it be truncated at any point?
Well, it depends on how long the person had lived in the UK or been resident in the UK before they made that application. So if, for example, you were with your EU national family member, you made the application. By the time you made the application, you had only lived with that family member for, let's say, 3 years. Then at that point, you could only be given 5 years.
Okay.
Then after that 5-year grant, you had lived with a person again for 2 years. That's 5 years of living with that person. Even though your 5 years is not up, you have at least lived in the UK for 5 years. So you can then switch to the settled status.
Okay.
Because now you have lived continuously in the UK since your time with that EU family member.
Okay. Now, I have my UK settled status or pre-settled status through my extended family member who made the application for me. Now, I am living in the UK now. This is where I'm living my life. I'm getting settled. I'm getting used to the system and the rest of it. When I'm lucky to get a partner, what is the status of that person? Would it be also a pre-settled something or a fully fledged EU settled person here in the UK?
So whilst you are depending on someone,
then you also find it's also coming to depend on you.
Yeah. And what's the situation with that person who comes to depend on you? I mean, Are we talking about then or now? Because
No, I'm talking about now.
Yeah. So you've just so the person who has pre-settled, what you're telling me that has married now, but we've also concluded that all applications that ought to have been made within the rules should have been by June 30th, 2021. So even if the person were to qualify, the conclusion would be that he didn't apply on time. And again, the time they married, when did they become family members? And again, if this person doesn't have what it takes to transfer to you, then you cannot depend on this person, i.e. they are EU themselves, or they have settled status. If they have settled status and you have married the person, the law was that you could, depend on when you married, then it falls into the immigration rules. Because if you became a family member after 31st of June, 31st of December 2020, then you fall into the immigration rule, spousal applications. So there are a lot of nitty-gritties when it comes to who is involved, what has the person got, and whether it is transferable or not. But today's conversation is not to give excuse that I heard there was a discussion on community and the law program to the effect that if you are EU and you haven't done it, you can go and do it with excuse or with a reason. No. We are saying that if you were a EU family member and you had indefinite leave to remain and you still have not done the EUSS application. Then
So then the caveat is you had
indefinite
leave to remain. And you have not done the EUSS.
And you have not done the EUSS.
Would they punish you or just a tap on the back of your fingers to say you should have done it?
The rule is that you have to give a reason. That's why I say that UK is a very considerate nation, because they are mindful of individual peculiarities and circumstances, and they factor that into the life scheme of the rules. Therefore, if we're able to give reasons, all the ones we have made, once we give reasons, yes, and the reason should be tenable enough. So it shouldn't be a flimsy excuse that I couldn't be bothered. Obviously, you could have been bothered if you knew about it.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know because of your literacy level, if you didn't know because of a peculiar circumstance, if you didn't know because the person you were living with didn't even want you to do it, you didn't know because your parent didn't want to do it for you, all these reasons, you didn't know because at the time you were still battling your matter in court or whatever, you got to give reason. And that is why these things, it's important that a lawyer who understands the rules can intervene on your behalf and give the Home Office a very laudable reason. Even if there is no documentary evidence, because some of these things, what's your evidence? There's no evidence, but the reason should be tenable enough, and they will give you the letter. Of course, they won't give you a card because you are not supposed to be reissued a new card. Remember, the rule is that you won't be given a new card. But if you want to replace the old card, then you make an application to replace the old card.
The question we are getting lawyer Charles Asma from BWF Solicitors to answer for us is, am I exempted from EUSS if I had my indefinite leave to remain in the UK before Brexit? If not, can I still apply under the EUSS, that is EU Settlement Scheme? The question is yes, but with a caveat. If you had indefinite leave to remain and you have not done it, then with a good reason, you can make such an application. You may have your questions, you may have your concerns. The numbers we're using are 07399 208 468, 07399 208 468, or 0208 123 1016, 0208 123 1016. Let me once again remind you that we have our quiz competition coming up later on in the program, so don't go anywhere, stick and stay, and answer as many questions as possible. I am hoping that my colleague Mayeti will join us, and she will be the quiz score mistress today for us. So when I keep rattling on with the questions, she'll be recording the scores for me. But in the meantime, just be ready. There will be questions about the country Ghana. There will be questions about UK. There will be questions about BWF solicitors. There will be questions about the law. As many questions as you can answer within a minute, it will put you in the reckoning. If you stay on top of the ladder, you stand a chance of winning that wonderful prize. 2 weeks stay all paid for in Ghana, flights and accommodation covered. We have a second prize as £500 and a third prize £200. Follow us on our social media platforms at BWF Solicitors. Question is, am I exempted from EUSS if I had my indefinite leave to remain in the UK before Brexit? If not, can I still apply under the EUSS? Lawyer is here to answer that for us. A few quick questions and comments here on the platform. Let me see this one. Good evening, Brakwe Kuloya Charles and viewers. Nana Obrimpo Ansa is saying that and saying hi to everybody. Nana Hima Sapon. Hello, Abusiafo. Yes, the family is here. We're all gathered. Thank you so very much for coming. And you're doing the needful. Share. Now, let's make the algorithm look so real good and get the numbers in there. Send it over to so many people so we can all benefit from the pot of knowledge that BWF Solicitors is giving us. Abusia, are you ready for this?
Question number 1. Law firm Bay and a Anna house on top of the Seven Sisters Tube Station, exit number 2. BWF Solicitors. Correct. It is that time of the year again. BWF Solicitors, our trusted community law firm at the Christmas quiz competition. We have gone through 2022 together. We have celebrated 30 years of our senior partners on broking service to the community. And so we'll be winning the prizes from the annual quiz competition. Listen, every 1st December, Ecosi 23rd December 2022, following on all our social media platforms, on BW Radio, BW TV, any Rainbow Radio show, and some very simple and interesting questions. And you will stand a chance of winning a massive prize. First prize, 2 weeks stay in Ghana, flight and accommodation covered. Second prize, £500 cash. Third prize, £200 cash, plus many other consolation prizes. Chapeau. BWF Solicitors. For legal matters, but you be handle no pepe at the amount. You 214 to 218. Tottenham High Road, no so. London N15, 4NP, 4th floor of the Anna House. Freying, it was 0208 493 7340 or emergency number 077 127 61884. With over 30 years of service to the community, we are your trusted community lawyers. Yamawa Fisher Poe. Merry Christmas.
Okay, so how many questions can you answer in a minute about Ghana, the law, the UK, and BWF Solicitors? So keep practicing. I'll be coming back to you. But in the meantime, lawyer, there's a question here that at the beginning I mentioned, and this friend has brought it from Ghana. Good afternoon, sir or madam. Well, Lawyer Charles is here. The name is mentioned in the letter, lawyer. For good reasons, I'll just read it, not put it on the screen. It says, due to operational constraints, we have been unable to assess your application within the expected time frame. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. We will aim to assess your application as soon as possible. As your application was submitted prior to your current grant of leave expiring, your current status with the United Kingdom has been extended by Section 3C of the Immigration Act of 1971. You do not need to do anything else at this stage and do not need to be concerned about your immigration status. Hold on, let me go back to it. Obiafre, now the person should please hold on for me. Thank you for your email. Please note that this mailbox is for internal use only. Please do not reply to this email. Your email has been forwarded to the relevant department who may have advised the following. The new rules confirm that if an in-UK applicant for leave to remain or settlement travels outside the common travel area, the UK, the Central Channels, the Isle of Man, and the Republic of Ireland, while the application is pending, the application will be treated as withdrawn. If you have any further inquiries, please contact our inquiry services for details. Then the person is asking, any help that I can come back to my family in the UK?
Right. So this application is for that person.
Yes.
This notice is for that person.
For that person.
And the person made the application in the UK. So where is this person? In Ghana at the moment?
Well, the number here is a Ghana number, so I'm assuming the person is in Ghana.
Okay, so let's assume that the person is in Ghana. The next question is, is it possible that they made the application?
You know what? There's a voice note attached to this. Let's see if we can play that, and maybe we can get a further explanation of what he means. Let's hear this one.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Please, my name is Richard Ofori Ajuman. I'm talking from Ghana. I was residing in the UK. I was living in the UK with my wife and my child, who are both British citizens, and we got married. So I was on 10 years partnership route. So when we got married, on June, I made a new application, which is spouse visa. So when I made that application, my old application with 10 years partnership group was about to expire in the next 4 months. So when I made the application, it was still valid. So I got an emergency back home that my mom was hospitalized, and I'm the breadwinner of my family. So I have to message the home office that my resident permit new application is still in process and it was delaying. So I messaged them that I need to travel to Ghana. There's an emergency, family emergency, that I need to go to Ghana to see my family. So can I go? So they emailed me that yes, they have extended my old application, which is my partnership that is expiring. They have extended it. It has been extended under the Section 3C of Immigration Act. So to me, I thought since it's extended, I can travel to Ghana and come back, not knowing that I couldn't. So when I came back to Ghana and I was coming back to UK, I couldn't come back because it's expired and they will not allow me. So I made my wife to go to some immigration lawyer, and they said, since my old application is in, I need to wait. But I got your number from a friend in UK, London, that you can help me to follow my process, my new application to see, because I made it in June, which should be in by now, but it's still not in. So if you can help me to follow up or take up this case to follow up for me, I'll be happy. And my name is Richard Ofori Ajuman. Thank you so much.
Well, I guess because of his situation and the application he's made, this letter that we read was sent to him.
Okay. I'm going to respond first, starting from the letter, then what he has disclosed to us in terms of what he did and the response he got, based on which he did what he did. So the letter is to everybody who feels the application has delayed. So they say due to operational issues, there's serious delay, as we tell clients. And it's good that you have read this from themselves, that there is serious operational delay. And that delay is made all applications taking longer than usual to be decided.
Okay. And
now, this person was sent this letter with Section 3C reminder that he's got protection under Section 3C because he made the application before it expired. He tells us that he switched from 10-year route to the 5-year route partner. And he applied for that switch before the visa, the 10-year route visa expired. And therefore his protection was intact under Section 3C. He was also put on notice that if you leave the UK before decision is made, then it is treated that you have withdrawn that application.
Father. overwhelm them and consume
And
them
therefore, if
in
that
this
is the case,
season.
what we are saying is that on the point that they have considered his application withdrawn because he's now left the UK.
Okay.
So the application is withdrawn. But we want to know why he left. He's giving us important information which may give us some sort of window of opportunity to make a case for him.
Just before you go on, I've got somebody on the line. Please bear with me. Don't go off. Just stay on. Right after our lawyer has finished answering that question, we'll pick up yours. So please bear with us. Just stay on and keep tight for us. Yes.
So he says that he sent a message. I don't know how he did it, but I'm sure he will have evidence. He notified the Home Office that he's got serious family issues in Ghana, and therefore he has to go. His application is still pending. He says that he was replied with a yes message. So we want to know the reply and want to know what he sent. These two pieces of information will help with the next step of his case.
Okay.
If it is true that the Home Office replied to his request to leave or not with the word yes, then the conclusion is that he formed a reasonable or legitimate expectation based on the reply from them, because they hold the law, literally. And so if and therefore, being a layperson, he concluded that yes means he can go because he's told them and they said yes. If that's the case, the point is that that expectation has been relied upon by this individual to leave the UK whilst the application is pending.
Okay.
On that basis, we'll tell the Secretary of State that it will not be fair under the circumstance to act in a way that suggests that you have breached that reasonable expectation created for this person. And there was reliance. The person relied on that expectation. And if there is reliance on that basis and acted in this way with a view to sort the matter there, then he cannot be punished harshly this way.
Let's look at this person's situation. Would he need to make a fresh application from Ghana?
So it depends on, if he abandons this one, then obviously he cannot come to the UK. He has to apply somehow to enter the UK again. If the spouse is in the UK, the spouse will have to make application to let him join her in the UK.
I can envisage that if he had been on a 2.5 year route and has made a first, spent the first 2.5 years, is he going to go back to the bottom of the ladder and start all over again?
If he's starting a new application, then we say there has been a break.
Okay, so he has
So
to,
we have to calculate
how
long the break has been. If it is break, then it is break. Now, if he's able to fight this case based on reasonable expectation and reliance placed on that expectation created by the Secretary of State, then the process will continue.
Okay.
But I see this as a matter of argument put to the Home Office, provided what he's saying is the case, that he notified them and they said yes. The word is yes. If they said yes, then he acted on that reply.
How can he prove that?
Well, but how did he send them the message? That's what I'm saying. How did you send them the notice and how did they reply? You cannot send text message to Home Office. And you cannot just call them to tell them that. So I want to believe that somehow it was by email.
Conversation.
If it is documentary evidence, then this will go to support his case.
Okay. 07399208468 or 0208-123-1016. As I said, I've got somebody who's patiently waited on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. I have a meeting at Katrina.
Kabimi Uncle.
Oh, yo. I think it a me besides some Babu and see somebody to Miss Wabwan. I kind of say, be our application. A year, EU, our dear Diana, 2019 or more, a refuse to before 2020, now more be free EU in the month. na ọmọ refuse wọ yìí n'ebi ansa na ọmọ mmiri ano ẹẹba nti ẹnẹ obetumi egyina saa wawadeɛ no nso na ɛde asa yɛ ọmọ mmiri ano ho application bi o.
They refuse wawari application no. What
interview na ọmọ de gyina so refuse yɛ.
Interview, no, there was a particular question be omo bisa wa be I went to me answer no
interview no dey yes because one of ba and I could be of assembly of when some people you know bisa it there and no ba na answer there
refusing that
na yes omo dey gina so say oh you bisa assembly of ba na say be.
Now, let me also establish, when was it refused? It was refused before Brexit.
Yes, 2020.
2020.
September 17th for
so before the deadline.
And what did he do about the refusal?
Then how you file refusal no?
Refusal no, yeah, appeal. Court.
You put in an appeal and it was in court. Okay.
Yeah, the court appeal na so na edo court to kra na meduma ewura and a verify employee checking service a day year money. And no year, it's your day employee checking service and brands will meet me year, human. Ain't I'm saying 6 months or more to say this year, no, can match what they've been a best by 29th March in a best, I can have best verify. Into 15th March, what they've been no more at the buy as a mean settlement. Menkwaye. I'm more the mid to be share code or something like that. 19th of last October, I no more Saturday, ever has more refusal. A day being there, or more the care refuse that. Ain't it? And Ukraine no mujina so much idea refuses that our dear no any hour.
So in between, no, they allowed you to work, but now they have made a final decision that they have refused you because of the previous refusal.
Yes.
Okay.
When was the latest refusal?
I said this October.
So, so that's more than, and he's in the UK.
Yeah.
So that's more than 14 days ago. More than 14 days.
More than 14 days, yeah.
It's more than 14 days, isn't it?
Yes. I refused the 19th October, no more refuse.
19th October.
Yes, 2022. Why didn't you appeal?
No, that appeal that done. Court that done. No, in free home, lawyer be ho. I want me lawyer ho. In China, no catch him say, or more refuse we na so na as and that done attended. In China.
So what's your question today?
So Cecilia Ankasa o question here then.
The question that I am one say we refuse we. I don't know me part of going to Munina so. How many years?
Okay. Refusal there to me far left, right, center. Nti bia ko far left. Nti na ko ba ne sa no. Se na wo kan no mo ye interview. Interview no to me picking your ma bebre. And say koba say interview no omo esusun say ne awo kan e application form no mu no ene ne amo kan we interview no a boy bradia and the yen no say moya awarefo anase bibisa nti koba say normally with the court, but as you said your first appeal is still with the court, and therefore your lawyer advised that there's no need to make another appeal. So they are now basing all your hopes on the old or the pending appeal. So I would say that, so fight the pending appeal because you have waited for more than 14 days and you didn't appeal. Unless you had a good reason why you didn't appeal, you cannot appeal at this stage. So keep to the old appeal that is pending.
Me the internet mammy from because na almost the law at the abato now ni will be a relationship before 2020 or more free you no no so for need the amusement work that relationship now evidence on. I'm here on media review so I'm not name one.
Some book interview.
Okay. Now
what's the book interview?
Before first one the year in 2019
Muko interview.
Aye.
interview in Omujina should refuse here because almost
It
as
did refuse me.
almost as soon say even though evidence on paper no near if you were
Yes.
banwa no kreno and say waware no edimu ntinti na ewo court no so don't worry ewo court nkwada sometimes e court wa na omadane no why
Okay. All right.
so work with your lawyer okay and get all the evidence to them to make sure that the case is stronger.
Okay. Madam.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, Brako, let me point this out quickly. Our colleague who sent that audio and the letter to us. So the message is that he has already contacted us and he has been engaged on the matter, his rights extensively.
Okay.
So it appears that there's no even documentary evidence to suggest that Home Office gave that assurance go. So it's a blanket withdrawal of application by.
So in this case,
he has to reapply. He has to make a fresh application.
And that brings me to the same question again. Is he going to go back to the bottom of the line?
So I don't know how long. Yes. So it's a fresh application. The continuity will not count. So this will not count towards the old one. Because it's a fresh application. Now he's going to make an application as a spouse of whether the person has indefinite leave or British citizen to come in for the first stage, then renew for the next, then to cover 5 years.
Okay.
But that is also to say, let's please take this notice that the Home Office will not deal kindly with us if the application is pending and we leave for whatever reason. It's a very huge risk.
I quite remember this caution has been thrown here on the program that if you have an application pending, please, as much as possible,
no matter what, wait.
Don't travel.
I tell people that if you didn't have it and whatever has happened, you
but lawyer,
wait.
in this gentleman's situation, let's use that as a case study, that he had an emergency. The mom wasn't well. He is the main carer, so to speak, of the family. He provides for everything. And if the mom wasn't well, obviously he needed to go. Could he have alerted the Home Office to say that I need to do this, I need to go on this journey, so please exempt me? Could he have done that?
We put an application to the Home Office when there are very compassionate and reasons are obvious that without this person, things will really go wrong. But it's a case of whether they will agree or not. And once they do, they will put it into writing. It's not that you go and come for them to make a decision. They will expedite the decision for you.
Okay.
So that you can go. Instead of they waiting, they can quickly decide so that you can get your decision and travel.
Basing on this man's thing, obviously is opening up so many doors and bringing out so many questions. He asked the question, can I come back to my family in the UK? The answer is obviously yes.
The answer is yes. If he has a family in the UK, he has to make a fresh application to come to the UK.
Could he be refused?
Every application is assessed on its own merit.
Right.
It doesn't. One person can make 3 applications within 3 months, and each one will be assessed separately. So it depends on how he makes the application, the strength of the application, and the supporting document.
Okay. Now there's this person that invited the mom to come and visit him and the wife who's just delivered a nice baby, and the Home Office refused the application, saying that there's no evidence to say that when the mom comes in here, she will go back. In a situation like this, what can such a person do?
And it's a visit application.
A visit application, yes.
See, all the applications that we make, visit is the only one that has very high discretionary point for the decision maker. It's so discretionary that if you're not able to prove that you will return, they will say no. And how do you prove that you return? I do tell people that what is so obvious about your circumstance in the country where you live that anybody looking at you will say that this person, there's no way when he or she travels, they will stay there because of all that they are doing in their own country. And therefore, if you can't prove it, then unfortunately, they will not give it to you. But it doesn't also take away the fact that you cannot reapply. You can reapply. They will assess again. If they feel that the circumstance has changed, they will grant.
So if there's a reapplication, would it be linked to the previous one that was refused?
Every application, as I said, is decided on its own merit.
Yes.
So it depends on what he or she, or in this case she, it depends on what she adds to the supporting document this time around. But it's always a case of returnability test. How do you tell me that you will come back? So it's not just about sponsors' bank statements. It's not just about saying that when I go, I will come in the form of writing. You have to prove that you have a high level of commitment in your home country. You are in employment, you are a student, you have family, you have some community ties, you are engaged in serious activities, and there's no way you leave all those things and come and waste time, quote unquote, in the UK. If you're not able to prove that, then it's very difficult. Again, what are you coming to the UK to do? You also have to prove that you are coming to the UK not for anything, but for a specific reason. It could be that you are attending a wedding, you are attending a funeral, you are attending a christening of your grandchild, and so on and so forth. And if you're able to, so what you are coming to do and why you'll be able to go back are important things.
Okay. 07399208468. 07399208468. Let's see. We missed a call here, but I think we've got a person back. Hello.
Message after the tone.
Oh, really? Sorry about that. But lawyer, if, for instance, I state in my application that I'm inviting my mother, for instance, to come and visit me for a short period, say 3 months. And I state that I'm sponsoring everything from ticket, accommodation, pocket money, subsistence, everything for the 3 months. Why would the Home Office refuse it when I have vouched that the person is coming for 3 months and would go back?
Because the application is assessed based on the circumstance of the applicant, not the sponsor.
Okay.
So if the applicant is not able to prove that they will return, then it's difficult for them to trust that when they go, they will return.
I have a mother who is so scared of this cold weather. So I ask my old mom to come in during summertime, and immediately the weather changes, I'm expecting my mom to go back. Can't I do that?
What do you mean cold weather?
When winter starts.
So the person is coming to enjoy winter.
When summer here, and when is winter, the person will go back to Ghana.
So they are coming for summer.
So then I can give an undertaking that at this period, this person is going back. So hold me to it.
I'm interested in the reason why they are coming.
To visit me.
Yeah, but you said they are coming summer, the weather, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If these are the reasons, then there's even better weather, maybe where they are, if it's about heat. So that may not be a genuine...
I am the object of the visit.
You are not the applicant. You are vouching, yes, but it is the applicant's application, and the applicant has to. So the applicant must make a case for the application that I am going to the UK for this reason. I will return to continue what I'm doing in my home country. The question is, what is it so important that you are doing in your home country that you
would have to return to it? Do I have to prove that with my financial muscle?
So it's yes, financial muscle, but it's also, so it depends on how the finances also go. Somebody was, for example, talking about a visit. The person spoke to me, and I was assessing the case. And the person said the aunt who is to visit this person here doesn't work but runs is self-employed. And I was asking how much that she make turnover a year. The person tells me 30,000 Ghana cedis. So I had to convert to pounds. And I said, well, you are telling me that the whole year this person is making roughly X amount. I'm not going to convert. Roughly X amount in pounds. And if you convert it to 12 months, break it down into 12 months, a month is just insignificant. So what shows that when they come back, when they come to the UK, they will return to continue enjoying this meager. So that's one thing. If the person is self-employed, it's not so significant that they will return. But if the person is self-employed and they have all the evidence of self-employment, tax clearance and all that, the money involved, it's also the flow of income. It's not like you put in this bit here and bit there just to create impression that you put these things there because of the application you want to make. And so it's very, very difficult that when you are making this test application, regardless of who it is for, if the evidence is not strong that there's commitment in the home country, it will be difficult that they will allow you to come to the UK.
073-992-08468. Hello?
Hello.
Yes,
Good
sir.
evening.
Good evening, boss.
Me person maybe some question kakra for nationality home. Me need to if it's allowed.
But you're quite down.
All right. But me question move to kakra ba. Say me bo mo me stoffa.
No worries.
But okay, me bra ketwa oye EU application ba Chroma 2012. And 2012 no or worry EU ni no my application 2013. 2013 application we refuse to yeah because almost say marriage certificate no. That's that time the Ghana marriage certificate no out 20 na almost they no refuse to no. Call court no but na or they no na ye juma sa certificate of application I go see time 2018 court no grantee say our no to marriage certificate no so papa and I'm man of 5 years no. But because all the year juma from 2014 BC 2018 into or settlement state we no man indefinite. Into indefinite is say you know you see good character 10 years no almost half for 5 years. It is say obey to me naturalization no because when you in 2018 but why juma from 2014 EBCC na oya what fulfill 5 years good character because good character we be found or you okay but overstay or 2013 with penal if you say ebeko against you know but just say minister say my clearer.
Yo, into Yenue, fall under the new provision or Abba and Ranamuno from 28th of June. And he never catch and say, yes, on putting application, provided say, send your all cano, what's not her, at least 5 years, we cry indefinite, you know, for at least 1 year, regardless of what it was before. The rule is that if it is from 28th of June 2022, you can put in the application, just like all those who do based on 5 years residence.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. God bless.
God bless you. Hello? Okay. All right. Yeah, I say, lawyer, no, OBAB, say good, the good character thing is off. So does it mean that if you stay on as a status, if that's the right expression, for 5 years, you can apply for indefinite for your indefinite leave and then naturalization? Can you do that?
Let's draw a difference here. There are people who may misconstrue the position, the change in the law to mean that if you are on the 10-year route and you've done 5 years, you can progress. No, you have to have covered the 10-year threshold. And mind you, the reason why it's 10 years is that prior to that, the person had breached immigration rules, and that's what we mean by good character. So we are looking at good character within breach of immigration rules, not criminal activities. Now, if that person breached immigration rules and after that they had their leave and they had become settled and at least they can show that they have legally lived in the UK for at least 5 years and they have held the settled status or the indefinite leave to remain also for 1 year, then the rule will apply to this person.
Okay.
So if the person is not sure, it's a case of assessing. Obviously, people like that will assess the story and the evidence they provide. But because this is the second time somebody is asking this question, somebody also sent me a message after the last show to clarify. So it is that if you are on a 10-year route, it is not that 10-year route, you've done two applications, you have 5 years, you are going to your third one, and you hear that they say if you do 5 years, you can continue to naturalization. No. For those who have had indefinite leave to remain at least 1 year, and they had also lived continuously legally for 5 years and even more, but they know that because of the old law, they needed to have waited for 10 years because when they had the first leave, they were illegal or they didn't have any leave to remain. And why do we say they have breached the rule? They have breached the rule because you come here as a visitor and if you don't go and you stay on, you have breached the rule. So the moment you regularize, you have history that you are unsuitable within the law.
Okay. Well. Time and tide, they say, waits for no man. You can never be exceptions to this wonderful rule. It's about time we went for our quiz. And it's all about this. Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, are you ready?
Official poll. Question number 1. Law firm Bay and the one house on top of the Seven Sisters Tube Station, exit number 2. BWF Solicitors. Correct. It is that time of the year again. BWF Solicitors, our trusted community law firm at the Christmas quiz competition. Ababiomo. We have gone through 2022 together. We have celebrated 30 years of our senior partners on brokering service to the community. And so, someone so will be winning the prizes from the annual quiz competition. No, listen, every 1st December, Ecosi 23rd December 2022, following on all our social media platforms, on BW Radio, BW TV, any Rainbow Radio show. Answer very simple and interesting questions, and you will stand a chance of winning a massive prize. First prize, 2-week stay in Ghana, flight and accommodation covered. Second prize, £500 cash. Third prize, £200 cash, plus many other consolation prizes. Afi Shapo. BWF Solicitors. For our legal matters, but you be handle no pepe at the amount. You 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, Nosso, London N15 4NP, 4th floor of the Anna House. Freying was 0208 493 7340 or emergency number 077 127 61884. With over 30 years of service to the community, we are your trusted community lawyers. Yamo Official Po. Merry Christmas.
So the chance to go and enjoy life in Ghana. 2 weeks, all expense paid, flight and accommodation covered. £500 second prize, £200 third prize, and other consolation prizes. So if you're ready, my lines are active. 0739920846 or 020812310116. I'm ready with all the questions. Lawyer Charles Asma is ready to do the marking and scoring for me. So have they changed the 5-year route to? Well, I think lawyer has really dealt with that. Thank you very much. Thank you, BWF Solicitors from Anita Japoma, Japan. Thank you very much. So let's get going. 0208-123-1016 or 07399208-468. Now, yes, I've got somebody on the line who is ready. Hello?
Hello, Kwau.
Yay.
Majo.
Yeah, yo. Antubam.
I am Antubam.
Oh, okay. But your friend?
Alex Nakase.
Alex was saying, okay. So Alex means to go.
Me concern kakra ni say Endra me wini and then to me wini. Is that okay? Am I being
Your name will be in
other
the hat. Your name will be in the hat twice, and you have a bigger chance of winning. You know, so that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Now, maybe 1 minute here, 1 minute, Pepe.
No problem. Kwaku Maria Taso.
All right. Well, you are so ready. So let's see what we have. Alex Osei. Okay, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
Your 1 minute start. Which of the national teams in Ghana first won the World Cup?
The Starlets.
Where is the former Ohinijan Stadium?
Accra Sports Stadium.
How many days in the week does BWF solicitors work?
6 days in a week.
Which underground train station takes you to? Which underground train line takes you to the BWF solicitors office?
Victoria Line.
How many Ghanaian players have ever played for Chelsea?
2.
Where in Ghana can we easily identify shea butter?
Northern region.
N15 6MP, N1 6LP, N15 4NP. Which one is correct for BWF solicitors?
N15 4NP.
How many female lawyers are there at BWF solicitors at the moment?
2.
How many years has a senior partner served the community?
30 years.
Community and the law. When are you host?
Oreku.
I won't give you that. What do you need to see a lawyer at BWF on a weekend?
For appointment basis.
Name 2 lawyers of BWF solicitors. Your time is up.
Richard Nkrumah, Charles Asma.
Sorry, your time is up. I won't give you that one.
I suppose the question was asked before, isn't it?
Okay.
So maybe he has to.
Lawyer says I should give it to you, so I will. Hello?
Hello, Kwaku.
Lawyer said me from Mountain, the last one I come home.
Kwaku, who crowd and I saw the camera. Oreku.
Oreku.
Along the community.
No, my name is Oreku Usufrimpon.
Kwaku won't say, minute that's so. Into no, who can tell you about
Okay, Alex, thank you very much. Lawyer Babu results in the amount. I'm before from.
Martin Dasi.
Okay, keep on listening. Hello, good morning. Hey, sorry, good afternoon, Sasa.
Good afternoon.
Oh, Mayete.
Yes.
David, what are you from?
Oh, when you from more question, and your quiz into my friend.
Okay, I'm into your question. Because quiz in internet is a mutual one for two.
But on say, me answer quiz there, and you're fair. So I can participate in the quiz.
David, who cried and I'm a quiz mistress now. Office.
Okay,
get your question quickly.
Okay, quick. Pato lawyers, ma'am, Echiawo.
Radio Sona.
Yes. Obi the question, Jamie. See. Ne hwache ne kakra na nyame adom wo kromu ha obaaye no wabetem ma ne visit visa no ewu but wenya your friend is saying course the company so be employ no then obe employ na also oye employment from back home so he's willing to go and then do his BRP, back home and then come. But me fear ne say, or catch him to say, oh, so visit, buy now visit wa, ye bones are no airport. Internet is so could do Ghana now, Samba, a begging some, and to be son of crab in the room. Na or corner when your course when you're visa na or bar. Would they use that against waba besti overstay you yemfa yemani remwana?
Okay. Lawyer noti mama na menya quiz na ba kumbrasisi ya. Na obe hold on ni panatico. Okay, answer man mama.
Right.
Okay. All right. Na me da say we dey mama nyu free na me fo bi quiz na mbrasisi ya madaroma. Okay. Yeah, lawyer.
Respond.
Right.
So the answer is that this person, whether it's he or she, the person has got a job offer. Mm-hmm. Yes, the person can go to Ghana and apply from there
and come back.
Obviously, the person cannot switch to the skilled worker route. The person thinks that when you are leaving the UK, they carry out fingerprint at the airport. I'm not sure why the Secretary of State will waste money to do that. As far as I know, when people are leaving UK, they don't do any fingerprint. But if they are, then I'm yet to find out. But I want to believe that no. Even if they do, I don't think it's a matter of, because before the person comes back to the UK, they would have assessed the visa and issued the person with the visa to enter the UK.
But would the person having overstayed have any impact on the employment contract?
There is always reason for the caseworker to point that when you first visited, you said you were going for a short visit and you overstayed. But this is application for overstaying, literally, because the person is coming to work for that long period. It's migrant worker visa. Mm-hmm. So obviously the person will have legitimate expectation that they are coming to stay and work. Yes, you came to the UK, visit visa, you overstayed. People overstay, good reasons, might be a sickness, could be even COVID, could be so many other reasons. Mm-hmm. And therefore, if the person's reason is one of those, then I don't think it's a case of, because that would be a petty reason for the caseworker.
Mm. Okay. Well, we're still waiting for the calls. I think they come through and we missed that. Oh, well, this is not something relevant to our calls now. 0208 123 1016 07399 208468. Somebody called and we missed out on that one. Let me see if I can call the person back now, so that the person would still enjoy the benefit of him having come through and the opportunity to go there. So allow me, I'm going to call the person back. So I'm trying to call the person back. So if you were the one, your number ends in 506, you were trying to call, I'm going to call you back. Sebeya with me are participating in the competition. Henry Sapong, hello. Yes, Henry. Thank you very much. We have who here? Hey, Alex, I'm sure you will get that 500. Alex wants the first prize. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good. Sorry, we'll call no by an hour so inti and yentimi found. So that's what I've called.
Maybe man.
What am I?
I'm Nigeria about so I create. Maybe man.
Okay. Lawyer for Abemo.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
But I'm going to go.
Bajani.
But Uniaba.
Many about Mudia Henny didn't say.
Abana.
Abnabo now because me the quiz no why.
Yeah, Abnativo.
Abnativo, yeah.
Abnativo. Oh, okay.
Just Abnati saying.
Abna, are you ready?
Right.
Okay, good. So let me put your 1 minute on the screen for you. Are we ready to go? Abna Ativo, ready for my quiz. Abna, are you ready? Okay, yeah. Now your clock starts now. What is the international dialing code of Ghana? International dialing code of Ghana. Oh, your caller or international caller. Code when I use to.
International code.
Ghana has 3 countries it shares borders with. True or false?
True.
God bless our homeland Ghana.
That's right.
What date does Ghana celebrate Farmers' Day on?
That's Farmers' Day.
Farmers Day.
Farmers Day. That's November.
Which town in Ghana is noted for kente? Which town in Ghana is noted for kente?
Oh, it's 0233.
But our time on us soon.
Oh.
Abraham said, quiz no, say question no, ebana say, unima, no, catch a pass, so that you can answer as many as possible. Because I 1 minute per. Okay, yeah, we still have a few.
Don't worry.
We still have a few more sessions to go, so you can call in on another program. Why? Okay, all right. Abraham CP. When you come on and you don't know the answer to the question because you have 1 minute and you would see your time on the screen. When you don't know the answer, just say pass. So as many questions will be asked as possible because if you have an answer, you are now winning the next one that you didn't know the previous one. I think I have time to take just one more. If I'm going to have anybody on the line, then I'll do that. And yes, I remember Lawyer Charles Asma, I hear the summary at the Amai. We had 2 people come on. Alex will say, Alex, how many questions correct? 8. Wow. And Abnenya, how many correct? 2. Okay. So for today, I'll put both Abna and Alex in the pot because I got only 2 and you are the 2 top ones. I would have selected the 3 top ones. So I'll put both Abna and Alex on there. Okay, lawyer, summary where we do a summary of the. Oh yeah, somebody's just crept in. That's a real good. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just say.
Pastor, you.
Why are you ready for quiz now?
Pastor.
Okay. Your first saying.
You're from Louisa Santi.
Louisa Santi. Okay, Louisa.
Hi.
I'm ready for you now. Let's go. Okay, Louisa, what is the international dialing code for Ghana?
00233.
Oti region, Ewahin in Ghana.
Oti region.
What is the name of the last football tournament held in Ghana?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
What is the name of the last football tournament held in Ghana?
Football. Oh, that one I don't know.
God bless our homeland Ghana, Eden.
God bless our homeland Ghana. National anthem.
When is the World AIDS Day celebrated?
I don't know. Go on. I don't know.
Ghana President Ben is celebrating the birthday on the 8th of December.
Mahama.
How many days in the week does BWF solicitors work?
7 days.
How many Ghanaian players have ever played for Chelsea?
2.
Committee and the law, near host your friend saying. Okay. Like as me for man and I mean. E didn't know what to be a free mo. Oban way the dini be a free mo.
Sir, what's the full name of?
Okay. Louisa Nya saying.
Louisa Enya 3.
Louisa Nya 3. Okay. So we have 8, 3, and 2. Okay. So Louisa, Bompire say Obia man room Sia or add you to the pot.
Yay!
No, you still have not prayed. So be room Sia Samato.
I'm praying. Thank you.
Oh Louisa, Obiaba.
Oh no.
Mami Fedi Bakro. Okay, then the person will be the last person. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Aha. But your first saying?
David.
David there.
Yeah. Mensa.
Mensa.
Yeah.
Okay, David Mensa, are you ready?
Yes, please.
The clock ticks now. How many Ghana players have ever played for Chelsea?
2.
How many female lawyers are there at BWF at the moment?
3.
What do you need to see a lawyer at BWF on a weekend?
For an immediate appointment.
What date did the EU settlement scheme extension end?
June 2021. June 2021.
How much should someone earn before a nationality application for a family member is made?
18,600.
Days being BWF solicitors a year the programs on radio.
Friday and Saturday.
Okay. International dialing code for Ghana a day.
00233.
Okay, your time ends now. Okay, lawyer.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
5.
David Messenya 5. Okay, so we have Alexa say 8, Abner Tivo 2, Louisa Asante 3, and David Mensah 3. No, 5, sorry. NT.
Somebody called again?
No. I think that's where I will end it. Oh boy. Abra, I'm fat. Wait there. Me and the mini about but wait there, I'm fat. Anyway, that's where we draw the curtains now. Now my Now? Hello?
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 Yeah, Oreku.
Yes.
Yes. In fact, Manyatini. Quick. For the quiz, they say.
Oh. Okay. Laura, I think we will just switch the phone off and do a summary because we have run out of time. But the quiz will be coming again on Thursday. We'll have a different set of questions. There will be another one for Friday and there will be another one for Saturday again. That will be the second tranche of quizzes for the second week. This is the first week of December and we're doing this until the 23rd of December 2022. Now, let me give you answers to the questions so people will know that. The international dialing code is 00233. Okay, OT region is part of the current Volta region. The last tournament that was held in Ghana, as far as football is concerned, is the AFCON Women's Tournament. Ghana has 3 countries to share borders with. True or false? It's true. God bless our homeland. Ghana is the first line of the Ghana national anthem. What date does Ghana celebrate Farmers' Day on? Is the first Friday of every December. When is the World AIDS Day celebrated? The 1st of December every year. Which town is well noted for Kente Bongre? Which Ghanaian president celebrates his birthday on the 8th of December? John Ajekum Kufuor. How many days in the week does BWF solicitors work? And it's 5 days. Saturdays and Sundays are just for appointments. They don't work. So if they don't have any appointments, they don't come. So they work 5 days, Monday to Friday. Which underground train line takes you to the BWF solicitor's office, the Victoria line? How many players have ever played for Chelsea? 3. Baba Rahman, Michael Essien, and Odenke, what is his name? The French captain, Marseille Desailly.
Yeah, Desailly.
So those are the 3. So which one is the correct postcode for BWF solicitors? N154NP. I think the only person that got it right is Alexa Say. Right. And who is the host of the community and the law program that is aired every Saturday afternoon? Oreku Ousu Frimpon. Don't take anything out. I'm very particular about that. Anyway, those are the answers to the questions we posed today. Lawyer?
Yes.
Me found for Mubiana. David.
Another time. I'll prepare for the quiz.
But
it'll be a quiz show.
So it'll be a quiz show. And I want to reiterate that if you are the lucky winner of the first prize, you will go for a 2-week holiday, flight and accommodation covered in Ghana. Second prize, £500. And third prize, £200. And other consolation prizes. So get your suitcases ready, because you could be traveling to Ghana and your flight will be paid for. Accommodation will be catered for. BWF solicitors and a day mail. They're wishing us a Merry Christmas in advance. Christmas comes early for you. So please get yourself ready, prepare yourself and answer the questions and be a winner. Well, our summary for the day.
Thank you very much, viewers and listeners, for keeping faith with us. Today we have asked ourselves a question as to whether we are exempted from making application under the EUSS if we acquired our indefinite leave to remain as family members of EU before Brexit? And if so, what can we do? We said that if you had indefinite leave to remain under the EU regulations and Brexit, post-Brexit, you did not make an application for you to be regularized into the settlement scheme, you have to do it because you are not exempted. Is it too late? The technical position is that the rule was by 30th of June 2021. However, there are people who have good reasons why up to date they have indefinite leave to remain, yet they have not done the EUSS. If you are one of such people, then you can apply under the scheme, but you have to provide a reason why up to date or up to the time you are applying, you had not done that. And the reason should be one of the reasons that they will give you. So you have to take one of them and explain why that. So we are still reminding those people that please take the opportunity to make an application, because at any point in time, you will even need a share code if you got your leave under EU provisions. You will even be asked to provide a share code. And if you have not done that, there's no way you can provide that share code. Or even if you are going for your naturalization, it's always the case that how did you get your indefinite? And if it is a case that you got it under EU, you have to provide the EU settlement scheme. So the point we are ending here on is that please, if you have not, you have to do it because you are not exempted. How do you do it? You apply, provide your reasons, and show with evidence of residence. And this is where we end the conversation. Thank you once again for your time and patience.
And I have this very special announcement.
Ye fema ye wo London. Ya ji abasobodie bebree. Ne ya redare ewo mranse mu. Eye legal services, be to say family law, matrimonial law, immigration, dispute resolution, Ghanaian customary, any family law. Wo BWFDA, yen solicitors edi enijie ene twitwaje wo na ye bo nso nya den kra. Yen partner penimpa Bernardo Wusu aye lawyer ewo UK memu bebru mfie duonu nkron 29 years. BWF solicitors kura won ho. Inti se ba na ebusuansem bi te se child care eye abofrahwe mu awarja ye ho twema mentwe ene ohye ana injunction ye de to domestic violence so a ye ma legal assistance ya edimu na ye adwuma nso. Yen child care any family team no nim nia wo famu ewe nia ya wo brei mu enunti ne yeto ye mbo ase ma wafutu a esefata ewo kokoa mu. Yen senior partner Eyobia Law Society Family Law Accreditation Panel agina tumu no sanso ye member na kyerɛ eba no sɛ ye gina wachi etwitwaje wo family any matrimonial cases ho a wonni haw kra. Wope advice immigration sensem ho. Wo BWF solicitors deɛ ye immigration team no abredare general immigration ho nsɛmsɛm kosi complex immigration, work permit, student visa ho totoye, any entry clearance visas, family visas ni appeals. Yen senior partner member na wasan gyina tum Law Society Immigration Accreditation Panel. Inti se ye taiwachi a wonni haw kra. Ye bie an office free juada ekosi fiada anopa nonkron pay mu ekosi enumre nonsia 9:30 am kosi 6 pm. And na memene dan so appointment nko free anopa nondu ekosi ewia no 9 10 am kosi 4 pm. Yewo 4th floor Anna House 214-218 Tottenham High Road, London N15 4NP. Sawun 93 Seven Sisters Underground Nswa kwantie bi. Yen senior partner Bernard Owusu san ye barrister ya gina tumu na oye Ghana Bar Association member ena wasan gina se mranimfo court cases ya fa Ghana law ho. Wa advising local authorities, official solicitors office ni solicitors bebree fa Ghanaian law ho yie na osan yo bia otai kasa radio any TV so fa Ghanaian law ho.
Jesus, you're my everything, yeah. My everything is you, Lord. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Everybody say